ESPN, the most trusted name in fake news. My name is Frankie from Flatbush. This is the recap of free agency so far. We've had a very, very, very interesting offseason, and I would say that Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn, if we had to give them a grade so far, I would give them an A+. Why is that? We'll find out right after this.
Non-pertinent. How do you log that non-pertinent?
No drug talk?
They use codes to hide their patron phone numbers. And when someone does use a phone, they don't use names. And if someone does use a name, he's reminded not to. All of that is valuable evidence.
Of what?
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy?
We're building something here, Detective. We're building it from scratch. All the pieces matter.
That we'll find out right after this. Well, it's true. The offseason has begun. Trades have been made. The Jets have their quarterback. And we also have a bunch of other people that was assigned to the roster. We got rid of a bunch of people. And we added a whole lot of people. So what exactly did we add? Well, let's take a look at it. As you can see here, the offense hasn't gotten the bulk of the work just yet. The key addition right here, Geno Smitty. And obviously, Brady Cook probably won't be on the roster. Justin Fields probably won't be on the roster. So we got to get a backup quarterback that we know. Now, the other key addition, Dylan Parham. So this offensive line has been upgraded. So if you remember, we would have preferred to have AVT on this team, but he's not. And he got a crazy contract from the Patriots. We couldn't match it. Okay, there he goes up to New England. All right, so what do? And our choices were, well, we had a bunch of choices, but we could have brought back Johnny Simpson. That was the starter last year. But instead, we bring back Dylan Parham, who's better, younger, less penalized, and has more position flex, and for less money. So that's a great move. So this line should be better. Olu Fashanu should get better. Hopefully, these young players, you hope, keep getting better. Same thing with Membu. Same thing with Mr. Tipman. And the nice thing is, if we want to step up and go ahead and improve the weak link, which is Josh Myers, we certainly can. There's nothing saying we can't. Now, we brought back Max Mitchell. I'm very happy about that. And Xavier Newman. Good depth pieces. We still need a couple of backups. And, of course, we brought back Breece Hall. I anticipate a 3-year contract still for Breece Hall. And we got Davis and Allen. I did see a workout video from Braylon Allen, and he does not seem to be favoring the leg at all whatsoever. So he seems fully recovered. He's doing his normal workouts that every running back does, and so he's looking good. Now, the obvious problem right now on the offense is we're missing 1 or 2 high-quality wide receivers, and I do expect the Jets to pursue multiple options, trade, maybe a free agent, though those options are running down very quickly. Juwan Jennings, perhaps. Darnell Mooney, perhaps. Brian Thomas Jr. in a trade, perhaps. And we'll see. But even if they strike out, not a problem. We can go get one in the draft. Now, we can get 2 in the draft. There's a lot of them. Now, let's go down here to the defense. This defense needed a lot of work, and you can see it got a lot of work. Inagbare is a great edge-setting run defender, so he's not going to knock your socks off with stats, but he's basically the exact opposite of Will McDonald, so we can swap them. When it's time to rush the passer, old Will McDonald can do it. When it's time to stop the run, old Kingsley Inagbare can do it. Now, Sweat and Onyemata are run stuffers with some pass rush juice from the Zero Tech. Harrison Phillips, very good, should get an extension. Same with Jawan Briggs. We need another one here. And And then in the linebacking, we got Demario Davis to free up Jamian Sherwood. This is going to be our green dot man. He's going to take the green dot helmet, take all the thinking out of it for Sherwood, and improve Sherwood while being very good himself. Osai is a good edge player, out of position in a 4-3, going to be great in the 3-4. Going to hold the edge against the run, and's got some good pass rush juice, 43 quarterback pressures last year. And then we got some competition for Azareye'h Thomas with Nashawn Wright. We improved the safety position a lot with Minka, a little with Belton. Malachi Moore now goes into his proper role as a backup. We still need another one. Preferably to take Belton's spot there as a starter, move Belton back where he should be, which is a backup. And now you have a really good defense. And then it's going to be up to the coaching to get us where it needs to be. We do have Carl Dunbar here, the former D-line coach of the Steelers, one of the best defensive line coaches in the league. And I would, if you're thinking about, well, what is McDonald? We have Reese over here. Almost certainly the number 2 pick in the draft is going to be Arvell Reese. And if you're thinking about us like the Steelers, if we're going to play a lot more like the Steelers, well, McDonald / Inagbury will be in that TJ Watt role, but more McDonald. Now, they're not as good, not nearly, but in that role. And then Reese will be in that Alex Highsmith role, where it's a hybrid linebacker, but he's on the line a lot. He's rushing the passer a lot, but he's also in coverage, spot dropping, and so forth and so on. We also signed a kicker, Cade York. I don't expect him to be the kicker for our team at all. Now, but what about you're saying, but I'm not happy, you're saying to yourself, with this Geno Smith fella. I remember him from 10 years ago, and he wasn't very good. So how the hell can we feel good about our quarterback if he wasn't very good? Well, just a year ago, 2024, this was a good quarterback. If I told you could have a quarterback with a 70% completion percentage and 4,320 yards and 21 touchdowns, would you take it? I think you would, as a Jet fan. What if we get that guy? What if that's the guy we get instead of who he was last year? Now, last year with the Raiders, everything went wrong. They had no offensive line. They had no wide receivers. They traded Jacoby Myers. Brock Bowers got injured, and Ashton Genty wasn't all that he was promised to be, but it's hard to be a good running back behind a terrible line. And so what did you expect out of Geno? He still threw for 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns. He threw too many picks. Okay, you could quibble with his picks. I mean, this is right here, 22, is when he came into his own, as a quarterback. And the first 2 years, he had an interception percentage below 2, which is where you want it. Then it crept up a little bit in 2024, and then 2025 was a disaster. So, this guy is an accurate gunslinger. And here's the thing about Geno. If you protect Geno, he can give you a year like this, no problem. If you protect him well, he can be a good quarterback. When I say good, I mean top 16. All right. Well, if you give Frank Reich, here's a tweet by me from a while ago. If you give Frank Reich a good quarterback, you can have a top 10 offense. When he's had a good quarterback, you get a top 10 offense. There he is with the Eagles. Here he is with Andrew Luck. Here he is with Jacoby Brissett. Here he is with Carson Wentz, I think. And here he is with Phillip Rivers. So basically top 10, top 5, and then 16th with Brissett. Then it fell apart when they had Matt Ryan on his last legs. So if you protect Geno Smith, you can be a good quarterback. If you give Frank Reich a good quarterback, you can have a top 10 offense. Hello? Now, so I think we could have, as long as we get these wide receivers, and we'll cover them next in a second, I think you can have a top 10 offense with Geno and Frank Reich, as long as we protect him and we have a very good line. Now, what about the defense, though? Here's Cody Alexander, known as Coach A, saying, hey, the Lions, under Glenn, have one of the most unique defenses in the NFL. What? And he's going to go on to talk about how they don't play a lot of nickel. They love their 3 linebackers on the field way more than any other team. And one of the other things in this video that he goes into is schematic fluidity. Crossdog Blizzard's vision drops the art of schematic fluidity. This is all Aaron Glenn. And there's this whole article about how incredible this defense is. They just fool people and they do things differently than other teams, and it's very confusing for the other team's quarterback, and that's how they get all these interceptions, etc., etc. Now, why does that matter for the Jets? Well, we basically are getting a new defensive coordinator. His name's Aaron Glenn. Essentially, what's happening what happened this year, Glenn is basically taking over the defense. He's going to basically be the defensive coordinator, and that's what you're going to get. All these players we added, and we're going to add in the draft, including Reese, and who knows what else, maybe another safety, probably another defensive tackle at least. And then he's going to have all of these players to play with, and he's going to have a smart one in the middle named Demario Davis, and he's going to tell Jamian Sherwood what to do, and then Sherwood can just play free. Same thing with Kiko if he's in the mix. And then you can get schematic fluidity. And then you got Minka in the back. Instead of some practice squad players we had running around, Minka, one of the smartest safeties out there. So now you got smart people out there instead of the dummies. And now you can play schematic fluidity, which is what Glenn wants to do. And God knows what the fuck Steve Wilks wanted to do. But whatever it was, he hoodwinked Aaron Glenn, I believe, into believing whatever Wilks was going to do was going to work, and it didn't at all, obviously. And so I think Glenn realized that and said, all right, we can't have that. So, let's call it ourselves. Let's do what we did in Detroit. Let's get the right personnel we need, and we're good to go now. You say, all right, that's all fine and good, but doesn't Geno need some wide receivers? Where's the wide receivers, Frankie? Where's that? You might be saying. Well, look at this. Look at all these wide receivers. So at 16, for example, you're almost certainly going to be able to get one of these 4. And I keep telling you, you got to think in buckets. Here's a bucket. If you want to go 16 at 16, you could almost certainly get one of the top 4 receivers in this draft, right? So we're going to get one of those. I personally don't think my favorite 2 would be Tate and Boston. Jordan Tyson's injury history scares me, and Mekhi Lemon's kind of a tweener. I like taters, and I like Boston cream pie. And so we can almost certainly get one of them if we want at 16. Well, what if we don't want to? Because, Frankie, you've been saying the 2 bums and a baby theory, and so that means the baby's got to go at 16, the baby being Ty Simpson. All right, well, okay, let's say we wait till 33. Well, then the next bucket comes. And you could be okay with any one of these guys. My favorite here is probably Razzle Dazzle Brazzle. You want a little Razzle Dazzle? You draft Chris Brazzle. But I'd be okay with Omar Cooper or Chris Bell, and almost certainly those guys are going to be there at 33. You take them there. And then, beyond that, if you want to get another one, there's all these dudes that you can get. There's literally a cast of thousands. Maybe you could get Elijah Sherrod in the 4th round. All right, maybe not. How about Brendan Thompson, a burner? How about Bryce Lance, Dre Lance's brother? How about Jacoby Lane, big target guy there? How about Son Striebling as a 5th round pick? Grab him. How about Eric McAllister, a sleeper pick? There's so many of these dudes. You can get 2 of them. You don't have to just get one. I mean, this draft is chock full of these people. So I think that's probably the reason why we're not being aggressive in free agency. We know we can get at least 1 and probably 2, depending on what the theory is. If the theory is not to take Ty Simpson at 16, then we're going to get one of the very best ones in the draft. If it is, then we'll get somebody in the next tier who can be very functional as wide receiver 3. Because I think A.D. Mitchell is situated to be the X receiver. People want to talk about a wide receiver 1, 2, 3 as if this is fantasy. But the reality is you need somebody playing the X, that's Adonai. You need somebody playing the Z, that's Garrett. And then you could have a slot guy, or you could have if you get a Denzel Boston, you could put Garrett in the slot a lot of the time. And he can feast there. Feast. So you combine these talented wide receivers, Adonai, Garrett, 2 in the draft, or if we pick one up, if we get a Darnell Mooney, if we get a Jawan Jennings, okay, fine. And you combine them with a Geno who you have to protect, just like any quarterback. If they're getting pressured constantly, they can't function. But Geno has proven if you protect him, he can be a good, solid quarterback in the league and give you a 4,000 yard a year. And I don't see any reason why with this line that we have, plus the running game that we have, plus Mason Taylor and Jeremy Ruckert, and maybe we add another one in the draft, a tight end that is. Somewhere in the 5th round, you can get good ones in the 5th, 6th round. I don't see any real reason why he can't have a 4,500 yard year, really. Pending health, everybody got to stay healthy and all that, of course, as always, knock on wood, but why not? And even if, all right, so let's say we only win 7 games. Well, first of all, that's more than 100% more than last year, and at least we'll be more competitive. I find it hard to believe that this defense isn't going to be 1,000% better and go from 31st in the league to 16th. If you have the 16th best defense, and let's say the 12th best offense, aren't you in the playoffs? But don't forget, our special teams is top notch. And we brought back a lot of people. And if we bring back Kene Nwangu, it's going to be top notch again. Even if we don't bring him back, it probably will be. So there's that element. And what if we have the 2nd best special team and a 12th best offense and the 16th best defense? That's usually gets you in the playoffs. And sure, we could be unlucky and wind up with 7 wins or something, but maybe I'm just wearing too many colored glasses. But let me show you this. Green-colored glasses, that is. Now, here's an objective measure on who improved the most so far in the offseason, and this doesn't even include the last couple of days. Browns number 1, Jets he's number 2. This is Kevin Cole, the unexpected points guy. He runs a blog. He does everything metrics. So this is not a guy who wants the Jets to do anything. This is not bias. And it's showing you the Jets are the 2nd most improved team. Yeah, we started from a very low point, low bar. It was easy for us to improve. If we basically hired any competent people to play, it's going to be an improvement. But still, this just shows you how much improved we are, and that it's not just green-colored glasses. Here we are. On my part, here's an objective view. Now, fans of the Rams would probably be very happy because they're already good, and then look at this. And look at the Raiders. They did a good job. But look at this. The Colts did not do a good job. And what if the Colts are one of the worst teams in the league? Well, then we get a top pick, don't we? We got to root for these Cowboys and these Colts to lose, lose, lose. But this is just to show, look, this is an objective thing. I'm not being crazy. So that's where we are. So let me know in the comments section how improved you think we are. I hate Geno. Geno does too many interceptions. You say as you ejaculate onto our screen. Late breaking news here. Tony Adams no longer a Jet. Tony Adams has agreed to terms with the Titans. Robert Saleh is the laziest fucking coach in the entire league. Robert Saleh, did he play for me? Yes. Sign him. But he's not really any good, Saleh. Sign him. He played for me in the past. Get him. Boy, oh boy, that could be a disaster. Well, maybe it'll work out for everybody. So let me know what you think in these comments down below, and why don't you subscribe to the channel? It's pretty cool to subscribe. It's totally free and keeps things flowing here at FSPN. If you want to go a little extra and support the channel, why don't you join the Inner Circle? $2 a month. You get extra stuff, including emojis and insider info. What? Yeah. Click the join button down below. And I will see you next time.
Yeah, the one watching this video. Frankie needs your help with something. See that join button under the video? Go ahead and click it and join the inner circle. It's just $5 a month. You get $5 of value from this channel a month, don't you? Cool. Then join the inner circle and help out old Frankie today. Click the join button. Frankie thanks you.